Hello YouTube, hello my dear hamsterlings, how are we today, how is stream, how is chat doing, how is everyone? Let me know if you hear me, if we are properly sending, if we are properly streaming. I guess Tuesdays. I guess Tuesdays are side quest days on the Diablo streams apparently, because we have like this is like third Tuesday we're doing as in like an extra stream on top of like the usual like Thursday Sunday streams. Tuesday is an extra stream. So why is the chat minimized? My little chat window, yeah, and I guess this is Tuesdays are just side quest days because for the third time in a row on Tuesday just happened to be the day when I have some side quests to do to fill out the zone, because I want to spend a little bit more time in the zone. Yeah, bonus stream, bonus objectives, bonus quests. Bonus day, and the video released today is doing so far is doing not badly, is doing somewhat well so far, so I have hopes that it will continue to do well. Today's video about how religion is represented in fantasy, and how American representation of religion, how American idea of religion, how it influenced fantasy. Because like how modern America does religion is very different from how like ancient civilizations, from the ancient polytheistic civilizations did religion. The game is like D&D is trying to do an ancient polytheistic religion, but instead is doing like something that looks more like evangelical Christianity. And like I am analyzing a couple of different fantasy settings. Of course, there were more fantasy settings I wanted to do, but the video was already getting long. So I cut Elder Scrolls from the last one. So from this one, like I left Elder Scrolls in this time, but I didn't end up properly going through like Dragon Age, because it is something. Yeah, but again with Dragon Age with BioWare, there is that question of like BioWare is Canadian, so like, what does religion really look like in Canada? I don't really know that. Like it is like I think it is like kind of similar to American, like where they got these unaligned churches like around the map, and like I dropped the map of Gary, Indiana, in the video, because it is when I try to think about like a small town in Kansas, like I got ahead of myself. When I try to think of small towns in America, 3 towns come to mind. Gary, Indiana, for some goddamn reason, is just stuck in my head. Gary, Indiana. I don't know why. Then it's Sandusky, Ohio, because it was in Revenge of the Nerds, in like one of the Revenge of the Nerds movies, which I liked when I was much younger and much dumber. I liked the Revenge of the Nerds movies. And in one of the movies, the guy they called Booger, who was played by the same guy who played Metatron in Supernatural, the guy called Booger, I think that was him, that he finds out he has a child. He finds out he has a child somewhere. And like they tell him that he has this child in Sandusky, Ohio, and he like goes, Sandusky, Ohio! Like it's this most random place somewhere in the world, and it just stuck. Sandusky, Ohio, just stuck in my head. And the third random small city in America that comes to my mind is Lawrence, Kansas, because that's where Supernatural starts. And I don't know really if like it's a real place, like the from Stargate SG-1. It's like Cheyenne Mountain. I think it's a real place, and I think that there might be an actual U.S. military base in there, but they probably don't have a Stargate in there. They probably don't have a Stargate down there. I assume. Much like I assume it is real in an actual base. Yeah, okay. So, like, I assume similarly that in Lawrence, Kansas, there is not an actual house fire. There was not an actual house fire caused by a demon. I assume. That those are like the top 3 random U.S. cities that I used Gary, Indiana. Like maybe I should have used like Lawrence, Kansas. I don't even know how small these places really are, because like what passes for a small town in America is different from what passes for small town in Poland. Like would Koszalin be a small town in America when it has like around 100,000 people? Like would it be a small town in America? I don't know. We have one view right now where we are almost at our actual time. I'm gonna quickly blow my nose to make sure that I'm actually articulating myself properly. Can you still hear me now? I think you can still hear me now. Like I blocked microphone, but I have this second audio input capture, and it's still rising up when I speak, so I think you can still hear me now. Alright. We can start getting into the game. Also, the game gave me like this big message today when I got in. Gave me this big message about this guy. This message. Greystone the chat is blocking. Earn Greystone the Pet by completing season rank 6 in Season of Death Awakening. Can I pet that dog? Defeat a corrupted reaper summoned within the Pandemonium threshold in Torment 6 or higher to earn this lovable pot-bellied creature. Some of those words are words I know what I mean. Like on some do something related to Pandemonium that pops up in season content, in seasonal content, which I'm not doing right now. On like Torment 6, which I assume is a very high difficulty. Which I assume is a very high difficulty that I am not doing. Like I'm probably never doing like Torment or like shit like that. It's like mid. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ever doing like even like Torment 1. I think in Diablo 3. I think in Diablo 3 I got to like Torment 3, around the Torment 3, I think. Or like Inferno 3, something like that. I don't remember the exact terminology anymore. But it was like this huge amount of levels. Similar like he Torment, a lot of Torment levels. And I got to like level 3. And when it got to level 4, I could still beat it. It just wasn't as fun to me.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
I could still beat like the higher levels, like Torment 4 or 5, something like that. I could still beat it, but I just didn't like it. I just didn't enjoy it, playing it as much. And I was very much enjoying.
To get there. Yes.
the lower, up to like Torment 3, I think. I enjoyed it. So like, maybe I'll do like some early low-level Torment eventually. But I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry for that. Also, I'm not doing seasonal content.
My family used to have a home there, and he buried it for safekeeping. Bit of a paranoid old man, really.
I'll meet you there.
Oh, thank you. I do hope it's still there.
I'm listening right now. Yeah, I'm not doing like seasonal content right now. There's still a lot of season to go. But I am not doing like seasonal content right now. This character is on Eternal. This character is on Eternal because it started on the seasonal. It started on seasonal, and then there's a lot of stuff to do in this whole corner. This isn't as closest, so I'll do that first. I started this character on seasonal, but I started it on like the bottom end, like the tail end of the season. Like the season ended very shortly after I got here. So I wasn't going to restart the character. I would have to like restart the character. I wasn't going to do that when I was like so early in the story. I want to finish the story, and I want to finish the story with this guy first. So I wasn't going to do that.
I don't have enough vigor.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that. So I am finishing the story first on the Eternal Realm, and then maybe I will consider thinking about.
I don't have enough vigor.
Another set of pants.
I am out of vigor.
So, but if this character is on Eternal, to do seasonal content, I would have to start a new character, yeah? Like, and so like, if I do anything, I would like to first do some stuff on this character. So like, I'm not in a hurry for this. Also, like, we did a lot of like history talk. A lot of history talk on some of the latest streams. I talked. But if you finish the campaign, you can start at any point, any campaign point or end game. Okay. I was talking like in the last stream or like the before that, I was talking a lot about like trying to research history, African history, from the sources that I have available, and like today that actually, you know, came to fruition. Today that actually was relevant. I am trying to help. Like, they're really hammering these guys today. And today in our TTRPG game, it actually became relevant because we went to today we went to Hausaland. We went to the Hausa people in West Africa. This big as old army, but I'm putting it in here for now. Nothing extra special. Like, look at these names: Strider's Favor. Like, Strider's Favor. So I guess this used to belong to Aragorn, or like, what was it? Aragorn, Boromir, Faramir. One of those guys was Strider. I forgot who that was. nothing like grim striders. Grim striders, and it's just a pair of shoes. Master's armor. Yeah. So we actually went to the Hausa, and we went to deal with the Banza Bakwai situation. Yeah, Banza Bakwai is a very interesting topic. Because Banza Bakwai, the whole story with the Banza Bakwai, like when you look into it, it's a little bit like the Bible, when it goes into, like when the Bible goes, after the flood, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I think that's how they call them in English. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And from these 3 sons and their wives, literally all the people in the world came from these 3. Also, they came from. Also, the rest of the people that they didn't like, the nations nearby that they didn't like, came from the time when Lot's daughters got him drunk. When Lot's daughters got him drunk and slept with him. His daughters. That's a story in the Bible. You know, the traditional biblical religious moral values. You know, so everyone in the world came from these 3 sons of Noah. That's what the Bible says. And the Hausa, turns out, believes something similar. It's not, doesn't go into like the whole world. They don't say that the whole world comes from like the sons of one guy, but they do say that like majority of the world, not the world, the majority of the area around them comes from this guy that lived in like 9th century, who was called the original guy. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember the woman's name. It was Daurama Daura, and she married this guy who was like the founder of the Hausa people. Guy from the Hausa who formed the Hausa people. And this guy also had a lover, and with this lover he had 1 son called Mukarbigari.
I don't have enough vigor.
This lover, he had 1 son called Mukarbigari, and the Hausa say that all their neighbors that they don't like came from this one bastard guy. Came from this one bastard son of the original guy. Like, it's a very similar story to how like the Bible treats like the whole world. But that's what the Hausa are saying, yeah. But when you look into it, when you look into the people that they claim came from that bastard, they call the clans, the tribes, the clans, the nations that came from Mukarbigari, they call those clans Banza Bakwai. They call those clans Banza Bakwai. And when you look into the Banza Bakwai, when you look which of the nations like constitute the Banza Bakwai, you will find out that none of these people consider themselves Hausa. One of the people are called Nupe, and they're very different. Their language is a different family of languages, so they're likely completely unrelated. There's another people nearby there's another people nearby who lived around Abuja, the current capital of Nigeria. Another people who lived around Abuja, who called themselves still call themselves the Gbari.
Have enough vigor.
The Gbari, and they speak a language related to the Hausa. So like they might be actually related to the Hausa, but the story of them being actually actually being descended from the bastard son of the original Hausa leader, that seems unlikely. You know, this is the kind of stuff that you uncover, kind of stories that you uncover when you get into like researching like the history of like these. I'm gonna say random places on Earth, because like I don't really have any relevance to like the Yoruba or the Hausa.
So close.
That's it. That's what I heard. Prove
Crazy
your
guy.
worth before me and receive my eternal gift. The grinning one guides me.
The
Olga
grinning
is
one.
worthy. No. No. Not yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Come. Come to the shrine of the Old One.
Who's
See
the
its majesty
old
with
one?
your own eyes.
I don't think there are old ones in Diablo.
Prove his worth.
Though like the stuff they pulled out for warlocks. Like the stuff they pulled out for warlocks in okay, I'm gonna go there now. For warlock in like the latest expansions of Diablo 4. Like some of that stuff seems like kind of eldritch. It's like some of the stuff is hinting that there's like some kind of eldritch stuff in the abyss, like the dark abyss from which all demons originally spawned. But you know, now the demons live in now the demons live in the burning hells, of course. There are like hints that there's something weird going on in the abyss. So like, who knows? Maybe there are like some kind of old ones. Show the ancient statue that you keep the traditions. I forgot what this quest was. I don't know what it wants me to do.
Greetings.
I said hello to the ancient statue.
Thanks.
Okay, and not thanks.
You invite the wrath of not one, but thousands.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now I apologized for taunting the statue.
I need help.
Yeah, I might need a little bit of help, because I
Come
forget
with
what
me.
this quest was, what it wanted me to do.
Impressive.
Okay, so that's none of these. Okay, I don't know what it wants me to do. I gotta check. This is other places. Keeping the old traditions. Show the ancient statue that you keep the traditions. I found a hint about how to honor the customs of the steppes. Though time-worn, you endure. Before your colorful kin, I say, yes, I keep our traditions. Like, what's like? Is there like a yes? Is there like a yes emote? There is a yes emote. So I'm gonna put the yes instead of zoom. Okay.
Yes.
Ah, I needed to just say yes to the statue. and they don't even give you the yes by default. Okay, that's a weird one. But yes, researching weird little areas around the world for a TTRPG. That's always fun. I don't mean it ironically. I genuinely find it fun. Like I complain about it, like how difficult it is to find sources where I am for certain places, for certain topics. Like I complain about that, but like I find it fun to discover that stuff when I actually find it. When I actually find something new, I do enjoy learning new stuff about like the Banza Bakwai and how that works, like the history of the Hausa. I genuinely enjoy finding all of that stuff. And like I was wondering like what other like historical characters I can instead bring up as a topic on the next stream. I think I mentioned like, oh, you know, next time I should figure out a way to bring up Saladin. Maybe I should like leave Saladin to when we get in Kyrgyzstan, so it like looks more fitting, because we're in an area that looks more Arabic. So we're talking about like an Arabic character. But you know what I thought about when because I always have lately, oh, the sound cut out for a little bit there. Is the stream fine? Is the stream not lagging? Visually, audio, everything is alright here? It says dropped frames 0. Should be fine. It's fine for you, alright, good. Only I like the sound cut out for a little bit there. Because the game just does this sometimes, I don't know why. Because I have Iron Maiden running in the background when I work. On like character stuff. And oh, is Ilda following me? Yes, she's following me. So when I work on the character, writing for the characters for the Fiverr gig, or when I like write stuff for our game for the RPG, I like to have Iron Maiden just running in the background. And what came up was from the 6th album, Somewhere in Time. In their 6th album, the last song in the 6th album is called Alexander the Great. And it's, as you might guess by the name, the song is about Alexander the Great. But what I'm going to tell you that something that might be a hot take, might not be very popular among like Iron Maiden fans, not that any are listening right now, but like if any like Iron Maiden fans listen,
I don't have enough vigor.
they might find it like a hot take. But I'm gonna say, like, I don't actually like the Alexander the Great song a whole lot. And you know why? Because they managed to make Alexander the Great sound boring. They managed to make Alexander the Great sound boring because, like, Alexander the Great is like genuinely one of the most interesting people in the history of the world, at least for me. He's like genuinely one of the most memorable characters in entire history. Meanwhile, the song Alexander the Great just goes like, and then he won a battle, then he won another battle, and then he won another battle, and then he died of a fever in Babylon. No, like genuinely, like I'm gonna hope that nothing. Oh, there is a chest. Legendary boots in it. Okay, I was going to tab out, but then I got legendary boots. I already have legendary boots, but evade transforms me into a cloud of bats, dealing 934 physical damage and inflicting vampiric curse to enemies in my path. What is that? Is that this more dexterity? It says movement speed, fire resistance, and the dodge chance, but it doesn't have the toxic skin bonus. So I don't think this is better for me. I don't think this is better. I don't know how good is the affix on the old boots. There's a few things like this that make you into a super vampire. Okay, so like keep it. Like I deal to feared enemies. Once an enemies, I don't know if I'm ever really slowing enemies. I don't know if I'm doing that at all. So like I don't. So like I don't know if those boots are really useful to me, the old ones, or whether the new ones are better for me. I don't know. Like you tell me if this is like better for me. And now I'm going to hope that nothing attacks me. It's not better, okay. And I'm gonna hope that nothing attacks me because I'm not doing slowing, okay. So are those boots better than new ones? I'm gonna quickly check the Alexander the Great relics. Iron Maiden, Alexander the Great lyrics. Near to the east, in a part of ancient Greece, in an ancient land called Macedonia, was born a son to Philip of Macedon. The legend, his name was Alexander. At the age of 19, he became the Macedon king, and he swore to free all of Asia Minor by the Aegean Sea. In 334 BC, he utterly beat the armies of Persia. Alexander the Great, his name struck fear into hearts of men. Alexander the Great became a legend amongst mortal men. King Darius III fled Persia. The Scythians fell by the river Jaxartes. Then Egypt fell to the Macedon king as well, and he founded the city called Alexandria. He founded a lot of cities called Alexandria. By the Tigris River he met King Darius again, and crushed him again in the battle of Arbela. Entering Babylon and Susa, treasures he found, took Persepolis, the capital of Persia. This is just what they go through is just then he won a battle, then he won another battle, and then he won another battle, and like his name struck hearts into fear of man. A Phrygian king had bound a chariot yoke, and Alexander cut the Gordian knot, and legend said that who untied the knot he would become the master of Asia. They mentioned the Gordian knot, but they also managed to mention it in an extremely boring way. Like, okay, this is just this is the thing that he did. Like they tired of combat. They wouldn't follow him to India. They did follow him to India briefly. Tired of the combat, pain, and the glory, Alexander the Great, his name struck fear into hearts of men. Alexander the Great, he died of fever in Babylon. So the whole song that is supposed to be like how cool, how great Alexander the Great was, the whole song ends up just going,
the cairns of our ancestors.
Well, he won a battle, then he won another battle, and then he won a battle again, and then his people refused to follow him to win more battles, and then he died. Like they managed to make Alexander the Great sound boring. The thing that is about Alexander the Great isn't that he just won battles. Of course, sure, he won battles, and he won a lot of battles. He won a lot of battles with people that like you. When you're an amateur, when you don't know history a whole lot, it might seem like he won some impossible battles. It might seem like he won some impossible, like he shouldn't be winning those battles. But if you but if you try to get into the history of Iran, of Persia, if you try to get into the history of the Achaemenid Empire, you will see that like there is a good reason why he won those battles, and that reason was that by by Alexander's time, Persia was already a colossus on clay legs. By his time, the Achaemenid Empire was has already gone through several like dynastic conflicts, like not even dynastic conflicts. Like I don't remember anymore which one of the Persian kings it was, but like one of them just wasn't related to the other ones at all. It was just not a random dude. He was like a vizier. One of like I don't know if this was Darius III. I think it was Darius III, who was unrelated to the previous kings, and he was like a vizier who pretended, who like usurped the throne, and he pretended he was the son of the previous king. So like by the time of Alexander, the great Achaemenid Empire that was such a boogeyman to the Greeks in 500 became like much weaker, and like it was this boogeyman. It was very dangerous once, but by Alexander's time it was very weak. It was huge. It was still huge. It was still huge, and it had a great administrative system that was still working well for them. But politically, and like regarding like legitimacy of the kings, it was very weak. It was very fractured inside. So him winning those battles wasn't really that crazy. Like the battles are not what makes Alexander the Great so crazy, and what makes him so memorable. What makes him so memorable is what a maverick, what an absolute maverick he was. Because, like, let's start with the fact that his mother, like, this might be like slander from later writers, from later historians. Either slander, or maybe people are actually like complimenting. Maybe they actually meant it to be a good thing, but like people were saying that his mother was a witch. People were saying that his mother was a witch who was like sleeping with snakes. Who was like she was supposedly part of this like this crazy cult where they were sleeping with snakes. And so he already had like some weird upbringing, and like the Gordian knot, like they talk, the Iron Maiden talks about the Gordian knot like it is very like matter-of-fact fashion, like, oh, there was once this Phrygian king who tied this knot, and he said that people would whoever solved the knot would get to rule Asia. Like it skims over the entire importance of the thing. Like, first off, like the Asia at the time wasn't understood as like the entire continent from like Israel to China. That's not what was understood as Asia at the time. This was Asia Minor, modern day Anatolia, and Gordion, and the city of Gordion from the Gordian knot was in Anatolia. And the Phrygian king, he tied that chariot's yoke, like, and he said, whoever solves this knot will get to rule all of Asia Minor, by translating it to a more modern parlance. So, there's a lot of rares in here. So Alexander the Great comes up to this. Also, like, do let me know if the new shoes are better, because I don't think you said if the new shoes are better. I'm gonna trust you if the new shoes are better. But like the thing about the Gordian knot. And the thing about the Gordian knot. Alexander comes up to the knot. You can equip them for sure. I think you will have fun being bad. Okay, I'm gonna put in new shoes. And also, I am full out, so I'm gonna actually go back to town and sell stuff. So Alexander the Great comes up to the Gordian knot, and I don't think the historical sources say this, but I like to imagine that he tried. I like to imagine that he really tried solving the knot. That he came up to the knot and he like started like working it like one way, another, like he started really working it, but it doesn't work because it was like supposedly like some crazy knot that nobody could solve. Heroic beacon. Life on. Maybe I should be like putting all those legendaries in these, but like I don't want to like undo the legendaries again. Silent driver. Teeming span. It's a good thing it wasn't a teeming spam. I like to imagine that he like actually really tried. Should I, while I'm here, should I like resocket this, or like I don't know if I'm keeping this weapon for much longer. And the old Night Menace. So I like to imagine that he like really tried untying this knot, but this is just not working. He's just trying to untie this thing, and it's just not working.
My ancestors soaked these fields with demon blood. These fiends trespass.
He's just really trying, and it's not working. So he gets pissed. Like from all the accounts, I don't think he was a very patient man. I think he was a very patient man. So like he finally gets pissed.
I need more vigor.
So he finally gets pissed, and instead of trying to solve the knot, he just grabs his sword, pulls it out, and just cuts the knot in half. And everyone, I like to imagine everyone around him is freaking out. Dude, what did you do? You were supposed to solve this knot. Well, it's solved. And he goes like, well, it's solved now. But no, you didn't solve it. You cut it in half. Now nobody will ever solve it. Nobody will ever rule Asia. And well, if I can't rule Asia, then no one will. I like to imagine that's what happened. Like this is the thing. This is the thing with the Gordian knot thing. That like you can understand it in two different ways. You can understand it in two different ways. You can understand it, well, he found an unusual solution to the problem, and he solved the problem in an unusual way. Because that's what Alexander did. That's what Alexander did a lot. And that's what makes him so memorable. He found an unusual solution nobody expected. But at the same time, he didn't solve the knot. He cut the bloody knot. And you can argue that instead of him solving the knot, he made it so that no one would ever solve it. No one would ever rule Asia Minor, as the case may be here. You see in his character, for the first time we see this thing about his character, that he was such a maverick. He was always doing things in a very weird way, and that's what I love about him, because he was thinking outside of the box. Like, dude was really thinking outside of the box. You know? still showing this to me. Did I like drop the first thing? No, now you want me to go where? Maybe down here. So that was the first time he really shows to be this maverick, doing things very weirdly. My second favorite moment about Alexander the Great is the siege of Tyre. So Tyre was this ancient city that no one could siege, no one could conquer, because it was located entirely on an island. It was located entirely on an island, and nobody could siege it. And people were like, "What you?" His commanders were telling him like, we have to wait for the fleet. We have to take a whole fleet from Greece, and we have to sit here and like hope they starve." And Alexander, you know, like I said, Alexander wasn't a very patient man. He wasn't going to sit there. Like, he wasn't going to just sit there outside of Tyre and like either hope the people starve or like wait until the fleet comes from Greece. Like, he wasn't going to wait for all of that. Like, he ain't got no time for like. It's like dude knows he was on a timer. Like, it's like he knew he was on a timer and his time on this earth was limited. And he's like, ain't nobody got time for this shit. So he tells his siege engineers to build a bridge to Tyre. He tells his engineers to grab the sand from the banks and make a land connection to the city on the island. And he actually takes it by thinking outside the box. Like, that's the thing with Alexander. Like, they don't even, and the song doesn't even mention Tyre for a second, and it's one of the craziest things that he did. Okay, things are just exploding on me right now. These goatmen are exploding all over me. Like, I love having goatmen explode all over me. The topics are just on these streams are just wild. But then, like sometime after Tyre, he goes to Egypt. Sometime after Tyre, he goes to Egypt. He goes to Egypt, he conquers Egypt, and I like they skim over that too. Like, they skim so much over that too in the song.
Together, we will show the cannibals that Crane tribe fears no fate.
They skim over Egypt so much too, but you know, like, there is another very memorable thing about Alexander in Egypt. This is gonna be like a little bit of a translation, a little bit of an embellishment of what happened by me. So what happens is Alexander goes to Egypt, and he conquers Egypt, and the priests tell him that, like, if he wants to rule Egypt, And if he wants to rule Egypt, he must go to the Siwi oasis, where the priests announce if you can be pharaoh. If you can be pharaoh. So he goes to the town. He goes to the town and he goes through the desert. He goes to the oasis, and when he gets to the oasis, the priest there is an oracle of Ammon in the oasis there. He goes to the oasis, and the priests go, well, okay, yeah, you liberated us from Persians. You liberated us from Persians, so yeah, you can be pharaoh. And since you are pharaoh now, that means that you are the child of Ammon. That means that you are the child of our chief god Ammon. And what I like to imagine, what happened is Alexander, like, child, it was like, what are they talking? What are they saying? What are they telling me? And one of his translators tells him that, well, Ammon is a little bit like our Zeus. So they're telling you that you can rule Egypt because you're the son of Zeus. And you know, to a Greek person, or you know, a Macedonian who is raised on Greek mythology, same as the actual Greeks, to a Macedonian, saying that he is the son of Zeus means something very different to what it means. What is the third stone carving? Stone carvings. I don't see a marker here. This is the quest here. I don't even know what the quest here is. To open these things. Turn the stone. Did I not pick that up? I was there, but I did not pick that up. So you know, he's told at this oasis. He's told that he's the son of Zeus. They're telling him they're telling him he's a pharaoh, and what he hears is you're a demigod. You're a demigod. You're half god. You're one of those like ancient heroes. Should have named the stream Alexander the Great, maybe. Like I don't know what I'm gonna be talking about in like an hour from now. So you know, maybe we're talking about Saladin an hour from now. But Alexander, he hears you're a demigod. You're like one of those ancient heroes from myth. You're like Heracles. You're like Heracles. You're like Theseus. Like Odysseus.
Khalid took the last of the warriors out to face the flesh eaters. The rest of us will try to shore up our defenses here. I am loath to spill cursed blood here amidst the bones of our ancestors.
So he hears this, like he hears that he is this demigod, a son of Zeus, and he goes like, you know what? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I'm so fucking great. He thinks like, I'm so fucking great. Like, I'm just so great at everything. Like, clearly it makes sense that I'm a god. I'm a demigod. Like, obviously, like this now everything makes sense. Like, and because his mother was this crazy cultist who was like sleeping with snakes allegedly. So he must have known the stories too. So he starts spreading this myth that Zeus has impregnated his mother in the form of a snake, and the dude suddenly becomes from just, you know, a Macedon king, from just this young king who is conquering vast everyone in the world, especially in Greece, is hearing about this young king, young genius king who is conquering vast swaths of the world, way beyond what everyone knew about the world. And they hear that Zeus impregnated his mother in the form of a snake. And suddenly we got a demigod. And suddenly we got a demigod. And you know, that's how those started. That's how those myths start. That's how we got those like demigods, those heroes of myth. Like, that's how that happens. Alexander the Great, it just shows us how these kinds of characters, where they come from. And you know, that's what makes him so great. That's what really makes him so memorable. You know, and he's not so great because like he won a battle, then he won another battle, then he won another battle, and then he died. It's just I know that like this random sudden ending to the song is supposed to reflect like how suddenly and randomly his life ends. But like it really feels like the song really undersells what a crazy character he was. And like it's not even like even when he stopped fighting the battles, even when he stopped fighting those battles, when he finished with the wars because his people like refused, like dude went to India, like dude went to freaking India and he fought the elephant riders. How many ancient Greeks can say that? Like they went to freaking India, and you know, funny thing is, when I was in school, they told us that like, oh, nobody, like at least my teacher told me that. Maybe my teacher was just bad, but my teacher told me that like, oh, this guy from India, this Poros guy from India that Alexander was fighting, nobody knows who that guy is. They're saying. Meanwhile, if you look into actual Indian sources and not just European sources, if you look into actual Indian sources, you very quickly find out exactly who Poros was. You very quickly find out who he was because, you know, because the Indians unsurprisingly noticed that it was that this crazy white guy came out of nowhere and tried to conquer us. Obviously they noticed and they wrote this down. So we know exactly who Poros really was, and I don't remember his actual Indian name right now. I don't remember his actual Indian name right now, but it is Chronicle. It is Chronicle well. So like, if you like check it, Google it, you'll probably find it. I would Google it right now, but I have like this shrine buff on me in the game, so I'm not gonna do that right now.
So, as I was saying, I don't know precisely where it's hit.
Like his armies refused to go any further, so he comes back from India, and he decides what just happened. And he decides that like he's not going to. Okay, gold just exploded around me. It must be really weird for people when suddenly a totally white guy rolls in and starts conquering. Yeah? Like, when he was fighting Persia... So the game does look much better today for some reason. Okay.
She passed away. She always knew how precious it was. Odd, since he wasn't a man of great means.
Like when he was conquering like Persia, he was conquering Iran, like he was conquering this like enemy country that previously invaded his country. But then he goes to freaking India, and like Indians have done nothing to him. Like Indians have done nothing to him. He just keeps going. Like he is conquering Iran. He finished conquering all of Persia, and he just keeps going. Like he has no reason to fight the Indians. He just keeps going. that's what I'm saying. Like, what a crazy guy he was. Because he just finally his army goes like, dude, what are you doing? Finally his commanders go like, dude, what are you doing? Like, go back.
This.
Go back. Like,
Hey, that's mine. How?
are these supposed to be here? Oh, they are. I thought it was like random mobs wandering into the scene.
Me and my boys had to see it for ourselves. So, what are you willing to give us for it?
Excuse me. That ring belonged to my family. With my uncle gone, it's rightfully passed to me.
Is that so? Well then I suppose I'll have to kill you so it can pass to me, eh?
So his army his army finally says, okay, dude, stop. What are you doing? Why are you fighting the frickin' Indians? Okay, she died while invisible.
Oh, thank you. I'll treasure
And they go back not to all the way to Macedon.
this. Isn't real.
They go back to Babylon.
This is so like him.
They stopped in Babylon because while he was on the way, like while he was conquering literally everything on his way,
Take it to that weird merchant in the boiling.
while he was literally conquering everything in his way,
Kinds of worthless stuff like this.
yeah, he went to Babylon and he went like, dude, this is the shit. Like this is the best fucking town. This is the best fucking city ever. And then when he finishes conquering, he goes back, finishes conquering. He goes back to Babylon and he says, you know what? This is the best place. I don't want to go back to Macedon. I want to make my capital here in Babylon. And he decides, you know, what you would normally expect from a conqueror like this. You would expect him to go like, okay, now let's kill all the freaking Persians. Now let's kill all the freaking Persians and let's replace all of the Persian like rulers, all of the Persian administrators. Let's replace them with Greeks or like Macedonians because that's what people did back then. But not Alexander. Oh no, he doesn't do that. Like, because he goes around this whole Persian Empire, like he sees what they're doing, and he says like, okay, actually, this whole like thing with the satrapies and like the whole administrative system the Persian had set up, like this actually works great. Like this is actually great. Why should I replace those guys? Look, we need to keep those guys there, but now we need to like make sure that are now loyal to us. But we should keep those guys in this whole system there. And of course, his commanders, of course, are pissed because they wanted to rule the lands they conquered, and he goes, nah. He goes, nah. We're gonna keep those guys who are already here. And to keep his empire unified, he tells his commanders, his leaders, to marry Persian women. He marries a Persian woman himself. He might have been gay, he might have been bisexual. It's hard to say because, you know, ancient Greece, they didn't really bother to write this kind of stuff down because it wasn't really a huge topic. But he marries a Persian woman, a Persian princess called the Roxolana, I think. Marries Roxolana. And he makes his commanders marry Persian women too. You're thinking we're all like aggressively bisexual. Well, the ancient Greeks had this whole system where when you were a young boy, you were supposed to be taught romantic stuff by an older male. But it was only when you were a young boy. When you grew up, you were supposed to like take like a similar like young boy lover, or or marry a woman and then be in the, you know, the dominating position. What the ancient Greeks stigmatized was not like sleeping with men, but being in the submissive position, being on the receiving end like a woman, because the ancient Greeks were aggressively misogynistic. The ancient Greeks like really freaking hated women. So like, he might have been gay, he might have been bisexual, we don't really know. But he marries a Persian princess. And he makes his commanders marry Persian women too.
Overripe fruit, half price.
And you know, like, making people marry other people they didn't want to marry, making, you know, foreign women marry his commanders. In the 21st century, that would be considered very bad. Because, you know, you're forcing people to do stuff to each other that they didn't want to do. So in the 21st century, that would be considered very bad.
Of course he did.
But this being 4th century BC, like, this is extremely progressive. Not because, like, forced marriage was extremely progressive, but because
He's in the middle of a sale. Don't
he was making people marry outside of their ethnicity, outside of their culture, because he was trying to create a multicultural empire in 4th century BC. Because he didn't want his Greek commanders to remain being like aggressively anti-Persian, aggressively anti-Greek. So he wanted to mix his empire so that the people in his empire would get
Blessed Akarat, spirits of the sands, grant my wagon
mix all those cultures together. And for 4th century BC, that is like extremely progressive. This is like 17th, 18th century AD stuff. This is what was considered progressive in 17th, 18th century AD. And he's doing this in 4th century BC. Like, dude was just
belong to a traveler.
so far beyond his time.
The other offerings. May it keep others safe on their journeys.
His whole life is so crazy that, you know, like, maybe if he lived long enough. Oh, I forgot to open this. I got another dungeon key, I think. His whole life is so insane. Meanwhile, the song from which the whole topic started, the song is just, well, he won a battle, then he won a battle. You guess what? He won a battle again, and then he died. That's why I don't like this song. And it only took me like an hour to talk about it.
That goat was like a son to me. He had a smile to melt all troubles. Now
This
come
dude is
see
very
me,
attached to his goat.
beyond my reach.
So I think I ran out of the topic of Alexander the Great. So that was like first real hour of the stream. Alexander the Great. Yeah, history lesson. He was a like very interesting character. One of my absolute favorites. I got more like a random as side quest. Like this is really can take me like the whole freaking stream to do all this stuff. One skill point has been unlocked for all characters on this realm. Okay, so I guess I'm putting this to 10. And I have to find something else to put skill points in. I guess this. Thrash. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna start putting skill points in that. Yeah. Like after he like dies unexpectedly, although the fever he got from conquering things too much. His commanders, like his commanders are not as crazy. His commanders are like not even half as interesting as he was. Like the guy in Egypt who was called Lagos, not like the city in Nigeria. The guy was called Lagos, and he was the father. He was the father of Ptolemy the First. You know, from the Ptolemy dynasty, from the dynasty that named all of their children Ptolemy. The guy Lagos, like like Ptolemy, Lagos and Ptolemy, like they were like very standard. They were very basic. They like read into the whole story of Egypt. I read the whole history of Egypt, and they went like, okay, so the ancient rulers of Egypt. First off, like what Ptolemies did do well is that like they really helped progress like science, because ancient Greeks believed a lot of weird shit about Egypt. Like they believed that like the founder of Egypt was a guy called Busiris, who was a son of Europa, who was a son of Zeus and Europa. There was the guy called Busiris, and he was a king. He was supposedly the son of Europa, and he was the king of Egypt during the time of Heracles. That's what the ancient Greeks believed about Egypt. During the time when Alexander... Okay, return to Ordu. What else do I do here? Speak with Elda, okay. Cellar. Leave it to Zeus to have sex with the moon. The moon was. I know you're joking. I know you're joking. But like, Cannibal's Hall. Do I want to do this? Sure. The moon was named after her, and it's a moon of Jupiter. It's a moon of Jupiter because the astronomers named all the moons of Jupiter after the women that Zeus slept. Not just women. After all the people Zeus has slept with, including Ganymede.
We get separated. My friends were cut down.
But also they named one of the moons. They named one of the moons Amalthea. And Amalthea was a goat who fed young Zeus with her milk. So when all the other moons are named after women he slept with, and then they named one after a goat, like are they trying to imply something about Zeus? Okay, there really might be no end to these. People just popping out of the ground. Is there more? Yes, there is more. No, Zeus was... No. When Zeus was a child, and his mother Rhea... when Zeus was a child and his mother Rhea saved him from his father Kronos,
Manage from here.
after she gave the rock for Kronos to eat, they put Zeus on Crete. It was either the Crete or like some tiny island. I know what it means. I know what that the goat means something, but like, okay, fine, whatever. I almost wanted to just, you know, tell the story of Amalthea. It might be a little outdated. It might be not like I really care about memes being outdated or up to date, because like I use like out of date memes all the time, so like I don't really care. But it might be a little bit old. Okay, just think. When Zeus was a child, when his mother Rhea saved him from his father Kronos, she sent him to, I think it was Crete, supposed to be Crete. I think it was supposed to be Crete. And he is fed by this goat called Amalthea. He is fed that goat's milk. And after the goat dies later, he makes his aegis, his like this leather hide armor. He makes his aegis, his indestructible aegis, out of the goat's out of Amalthea's fur. So I don't know what the astronomers were trying to say when every single other moon of Jupiter is named after Zeus's lovers, and then there is his goat. So like I don't know what they were trying to say. But you know, so yeah, I was talking about the Ptolemies. These moons, Zeus, yeah, maybe. This moon screwed up Zeus. Okay. I was talking about the Ptolemies. Now we're doing another dungeon. Apparently. Okay. Okay, just 10,000 gold and a random. Okay, that's another elite. So yeah, the Ptolemies. So the Ptolemies come to Egypt. They take over Egypt after Alexander. They decide to rule from Alexandria. Ah, great! I'll get the treasure goblin. I didn't even want to be here. I wanted to go down there. Got distracted by the frickin' treasure goblin. Scrimshaw Band. Is this better? It has life on hit. It has dexterity. Some life. Poison resistance. Like, which are you comparing to? Sigil of Braestag. This one has more life on hit than this. More dexterity. So this is like an upgrade over this one. Okay. So the Ptolemies take over Egypt after Alexander, and the Ptolemies look at it, and they look into. They look into what they did very well was like uncovering a lot of like history, and they promoted science. Like we wouldn't have Eratosthenes, the first guy who measured the circumference of the Earth by experimenting with like the angles of the shadows and the lengths of the shadows, and from that he measured the curvature of the Earth to a very, very good precision. for the time. Like, without the Ptolemies, we wouldn't have Eratosthenes. Like, somebody would have done this experiment eventually, probably. But we wouldn't have him without them. So, you know... Is this another of those RPGs? No. But what they also did, other than like discovering the history of ancient Egypt, and discovering like the thing about Busiris, that it was made up by ancient Greeks. Like, besides discovering that, they also discovered that the Egyptian pharaohs really liked marrying their own sisters and daughters. They looked at the history of the ancient, like they were like the first Greeks that chronicled the history of ancient Egypt. Like they of course they had to like mistranslate, like warp the names of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. So like that's why we have like the Cheops pyramid. The Cheops pyramid, because like the dude's real name was Khufu. That was his actual name, Khufu. And meanwhile we're calling him like Cheops. We're calling the other guy from the other pyramid, we're calling him Mykerinos, when his real name was Menkaure. And the Greeks came and like, oh, I can't spell Menkaure. I have to like rename this Mykerin. I have to rename this dude Mykerinos. But nevertheless, they discovered the history of ancient Egypt that no one knew about at the time. Defeat Losgov, whatever. Okay, I have seconds remaining. Let's see if I can do this. In here. I can do this very well. At least on this difficulty. We have some space. So they discovered that these ancient Egyptian pharaohs really loved marrying their sisters and their daughters, because they wanted to keep the bloodline. They wanted to keep the bloodline clean, because they had to keep this divine bloodline. Well, if the ancient Egyptians, that we are now ruling over the Egyptians, and this is what the Egyptians liked, you know, so we gotta be doing what they were doing, yeah? We gotta be doing the same thing. And the Ptolemies started marrying their sisters. I don't think the Ptolemies really married their own daughters. I don't think so.
Crane tribe knows well the price of cowardice. If we stop here, we prove we are not.
I don't think they married their own daughters, but they married their sisters a lot. And when you get to the Cleopatra, who was in fact Cleopatra the 7th, when you get to the Cleopatra, like, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. She was this like brilliant politician. That is loud. That was super loud for me. For some reason. Like that one barricade.
Good. Now we prove ourselves to the ancestors. So many cannibals, but
and you know, that what they did, like they're in Egypt, just like trying to mimic the ancient Egyptian customs. What they did to spread their ancient Egyptian custom, that was very standard. It's like very much. It was very much what like any other ancient ruler who wanted to keep control over his people would do. Like I'm gonna bet that if it came to Alexander, he wouldn't be doing that. Not that I think that he was particularly like a very moral person who would go like, ew, I don't want to marry my sister, or like I don't want my kids to marry each other. Not that I think that he would be like, he would have like moral objections.
We have proven our honor. Our blood joins the
But he just was the kind of guy who never did what people expected him to do.
They now know they face warriors who do not fear fate.
He was the kind of guy who never did what people expected him to do. So like, if Egyptians expected him to... Okay, completed some challenge, didn't even know I did. Is there like more people coming still? I thought I was finished with this. It's like more people coming, okay. Is there just not ending ever? Are we finished? No, we're not finished. So is this just not ending? Like I don't want to like make up what Alexander, like I want to make up, okay, I want to make up what Alexander would do. Like I'm saying I don't want to be inaccurate. I don't want to like guess something wild. But you know, Alexander was wild. He was doing just wild stuff all the time. I bet you would. Like if Alexander, if the Egyptian priest told Alexander like you gotta like have your children marry each other, like you gotta have your son marry your daughter, he like I imagine he'd just go, yeah, fuck no, I'm not doing that. And the priest would like go, no, you have to do that because like that's what the pharaohs do. Like have to keep the bloodline clear. You have to keep the divine bloodline. And he would go like, okay, like what was your last pharaoh? Who was your last like Egyptian pharaoh before the Persians? And the priest would like tell him, well, okay, well it was this guy, but like he didn't have a son. He had no sons, like no sons that survived to have children. He had like what is this now? Slay spiders to draw out the broodmother. Okay. He only had like daughters. Okay, where are those daughters? Well, the daughters are dead too now because that was like 100 years ago. Okay, so where do they have descendants? Any descendants? Yeah, well, okay, these descendants like they now live here and here. Okay, did they have any small children? Okay, so now, okay, so to keep the bloodline clean and divine, I'm not gonna have my son marry my daughter. I'm gonna have my son marry the granddaughter of the old pharaoh. I think that's what he would do. Or he would just go, no, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. I want my son to marry whoever he loves. You know, I think that's what he would do. He would go, I want my son to marry whoever he loves, because that is the craziest shit you could do in 4th century BC. That is the craziest shit you could do at the time. To marry someone out of love. Especially when you're a king of some kind. That is the absolute craziest shit he could do, and that is absolutely what he'd do. Slay spiders, more spiders. You know, I'm sure there's like a lot of people have always imagined what would have happened if Alexander hasn't died this early. I'm sure that had he lived long enough, he would start doing some weird stuff and he would be remembered less well, because that's what people do. Eventually the power would get to him and he would start doing some weird tyrannical stuff. Absolutely, he would do that. And the fact that he died so young only adds to his legend, only makes him more mythical. And if he lived to an older age, he wouldn't be as legendary. But you know, he was doing some such crazy shit. Like, I'm sure he'd still be legendary because he would keep doing just crazy things that nobody would expect him to do. I don't think he would have like conquered a lot more. I think he was like, at one point he was planning a campaign in Arabia. Like, he wanted to conquer Arabia, I think, when he was in Babylon, was planning. And this is also like to like conquer Arabia in 4th century BC. Like, that's also crazy, because this, like, there are a couple of kingdoms on the borders. I don't remember if the Lakhmids were around at the time. If Palmyra might have been just a small city at the time. Lakhmids, I think this is too early for Lakhmids. But I think Nabateans were around at this time. I think Nabateans and Petra were around at this time. Like, maybe not Petra, because Petra had this Hellenistic architecture. So it couldn't have had the Hellenistic architecture before the Greeks got there. So maybe Petra itself wasn't, but Nabateans, the Nabatean civilization was around at the time, I think. So like, if he wanted to conquer Arabia, like, there was just a lot of sand, a lot of just small tribes. Like, that would be really difficult to like conquer anything there, because there wasn't a lot there to do. And that was the next conquest he wanted to do. Would he have conquered Arabia? Would he have conquered Arabia, or would that be just another failure? Like, would his people like tell him to pull back because it's not working out like it happened in India? It's hard to say. It's hard to say what he would do. But imagine a world in which Alexander lives to an older age and he gets to raise his children, and those children get to live to adulthood.
Thank you.
That
I
world
should not have sent you there.
would be so
Give my
different from ours. It would be unrecognizable.
Die there now.
When you put the point of divergence so far back, it's like literally everything changes. Like, literally the all of history changes. No, not all of history, because, you know, there's like ancient times pre-Alexander. But like, everything we know is no longer true. Like, I think there was some talk about going to Italy. There was some talk about going to Italy, like imagine if Alexander conquered Rome. That would be crazy.
Good salvage. Plenty worth keeping.
Yeah. Imagine if Alexander conquered Rome. Like, I don't remember what exactly Rome was doing in Alexander's time.
Oh gods. God. No.
This was like before all the Punic Wars. Like, Rome was still fairly young.
He didn't even want to
this is already after. This is after the kings, after the Etruscans.
I pressured him.
This is after they expelled the Etruscan kings, because Etruscan kings were expelled in like 509 BC, I think.
Could I possibly break his heart twice?
So this is like way out. The Etruscan kings were expelled like around the time of the original Persian Wars. So like this is way later. I don't remember what Rome was doing at this point
There are so
in
many
time.
different coins.
I remember, you know,
Perhaps they belong
the
to
Punic
the
Wars, of
King
course.
Bardu. I'll give them a place of honor.
Yeah,
in
this
memory
is
of
before the
Bardu.
first Punic War. So like Rome isn't really on anyone's map yet. Like sure, like Rome is beginning to get out, and Rome is conquering. Rome is conquering parts of southern Italy at this point in time. I know that. That it's before the Punic War, so it's not really on anyone's map yet. Okay, so what do we do now? We've still got more freaking side quests in here. That's a lot of side quests in this zone. But like conquering Italy would be a whole different story, not only because like it was a completely different terrain, it was a completely different like politics, because when he was conquering Persia, he was conquering an entire like pre-existing empire. It's part of why he managed to keep so much of the land, because there was already an empire there with the whole like hierarchy set up, with the administration, which I already talked about. But it was a huge part of why he was so successful, because he didn't like come out of nowhere. He was building on top of what existed before him. And in Italy, it will be a completely different story. Rome is still very young at this point in time. Rome is still very young at this point in time. So there isn't like a whole organization to conquer. There is just a bunch of tribes, either cities that Rome conquered or cities who consider themselves allies of Rome. So it will be a completely different story. It would look like completely different, like similarly to Arabia, which I also mentioned as a thing he wanted to conquer. Both Arabia and Italy would be completely different to conquer than anything he did before that. And I don't think he would be, because of that. I wanted to say that because of that he wouldn't be as successful. But then again, like he doesn't. At this point in time, when he has already conquered Persia, he doesn't just come in there and completely out of nowhere with no like prior context. He okay, there's a rare. That's a lot of the same rare. Why was there 5 of them? Isn't there like normally 3 of them? So when if he comes to Italy or Arabia after conquering Persia, he's not coming just with a completely blank slate. He comes. Oh, this is a stronghold, is it?
Encased in salt. Try to flee.
Okay, and now they turn into demons.
You can kill them, but you cannot save.
Okay. That's a lot of oppressors in here. I don't want to slide right now, quite yet. So I imagine that if he comes to Italy or Arabia after Persia, that he wouldn't like he would probably have problems in Arabia because of just, you know, a lot of desert with little strategic value at the time. Like now, people fight over like the oil in the Gulf, but back then people wouldn't know that. So there's just a lot of sand with no strategic value. So that would be an issue for him to conquer. But if he conquered it, once he did so, he could just learn from Persia and like institute new satrapies in Arabia or in Italy, and like institute a satrap in Rome. Institute a satrap in Rome, and then have like some important Roman character who lived around this time, and like make them a satrap in Rome. You know, that's, you know, crazy to consider. I don't even know who would like, if there are like any like really big historical characters at this time in Rome. But it is very interesting to consider, like Rome as a Greek satrapy. What does that really do? That thing from the shoes? Like, I did the evade just now and I didn't really notice anything changing. Like you said, bat, but I don't think I turned into a bat. I don't feel like I turned into anything. Okay, so that's another half an hour about Alexander the Great and what he would do had he not died so early. I can't go here apparently. It is just, you know, very interesting topic to consider. One of the most insane people in history. Yeah, I think I might have just run out of the Alexander topics, because it's just like, oh shit! I actually almost died there. There's like a lot of AOE at the same place.
That came from the north.
But yeah, like Alexander's descendants, they were also fighting each other for centuries. Like, not his descendants, like they were not like his descendants, his commanders, descendants of his commanders. The vultures tearing apart the realm he conquered. Why does that sound like a gnome? Like the voice screaming at us? Because it was like some kind of cursed voice. So like, it was supposed to be like weird. Like, this is my favorite strategy in Diablo 4. Just slam. Just, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can I go here now? Yes. Okay.
You care for these worms? I'll spend them all to watch you die!
You will not go back to the salt. You'll just be dead. So many rings all of a sudden. I have now so many rings. If I put them on, I'd look like Hal Jordan on the Emerald of the Twilight cover. Like, look it up. Hal Jordan, Emerald of the Twilight cover. Like, look it up. I have so many rings, I could look like that right now. If the game let me. Put them on my toes. Maybe. But do look up this cover. Is this the one? This is the Wanderer's Shrine. Challenge Stronghold Hero is close to completion. So maybe next stronghold we take will do that. Do I want to start more side quests in here?
3 workers fled in the night.
I still have a lot
but
of
the
side
sound of
quests in
morale,
here.
more behind
And
them.
I've been doing a
They say
lot
the
of them
mine is
here already.
cursed. Maybe it is, but we've a job to finish. Old superstitions say Khazra bones ward against curses. I've never put much stock in old wives' tales, but if it keeps folk from fleeing, I'll wear them myself, huh?
The Ptolemies that I already talked about, the Ptolemies are like the most famous Hellenistic rulers in the world. Because they took over Egypt, you know. But like they're hardly the only ones. Like there were the Seleucids, who took over like Mesopotamia, and they held Syria for. They sometimes fought over Syria with the Ptolemies. Like the Seleucid, and like there was a bunch of them in like Asia Minor. There's a bunch of them in Asia Minor, in Macedon itself, like the Antigonids. There was Pergamon. Well, there was a bunch of them. Okay, now there's just a bunch of demons right outside that city I just conquered. Come here and die. So like, I thought this was in the city. That's why I was coming here. Okay. Some letter. Somewhere in here. It's not here. Search for little Tuya. Okay, I searched for little Tuya. Also, I just realized it sounds a lot like the character that was the character in our game that just joined a new thing in Hausa land that we just did. Tuya. I think the pronunciation would be a little bit different. Like, okay, I checked. Okay, game. I checked everything in this area, and you're not. Wait, is that? Yes, not, and I now can't get up there. I have to get all the way around. Only saw it after I went down. That was little Tuya. Okay. Okay, now Khazra Bones. Okay, let's quickly do the Khazra Bones. I am at my destination, but I need more Khazra. Thankfully, there is a lot of Khazra here, turns out. And they just pop out of the ground. And fortunately, they have a lot of bones. So we're gonna collect more bear asses. Yeah, this game was definitely designed by MMO people. Like it's definitely like the design of the quests and the world, like it definitely feels like an MMO. Like it has this like pop out, pop in multiplayer element. Like it's not quite an MMO, but it's like halfway there, and I always found it very weird about this game. Even before I started playing it, like I heard what it was doing, and I always thought it was a little bit weird. Like I can't tell what it really wants to do. Tempest that like pulls me in. I don't care if you pull me in. I want you to pull me in. It makes it faster to kill you. And like, that's a really bad affix. Bad for them, good for me. Okay, pick this up. Goatman corruption. Yeah, that sure is something that happens in this game. Goatman corruption. Clear out the corruption. Okay. Might as well do this while we're here. I don't think I would have nearly as much to say about Saladin as I had about Alexander, because I don't know Saladin, the life and the work of Saladin as much as I do about Alexander. Like I know the general topic of the Crusades. I know the general topic of the Crusades, but bunch of staves and spears. Okay, what's next? Return to Arban. Okay. My wrecking horse still wrecks shit. Oh, come on. I just want to get out of here. That's a lot. That's a lot of goatmen.
Hope this helps. I would buy you an ale if we had anything decent around here. Your payment as promised.
Are people not complaining that this game is too bright? I remember when Diablo 3 dropped, and when people were complaining that Diablo 3 was too bright because there was a desert level. Like there wasn't a desert level in Diablo 2. Right, people complaining can be like that. I'm gonna just teleport to this waypoint. Because, you know, Diablo has to be dark. And apparently it has to have paladins. I still can't get over how stupid it was when people were complaining. People were watching the reveal for... I think there is even settings that make it darker, okay? I mean, you mean, yeah, like beyond the standard alpha settings? When, like, at the start of the game it told us to, like, adjust the settings until the sign was barely visible, which is like in most games these days. Okay, another renown thing unlocked. 10,000 gold plus 80 max oboes. And I didn't even know there was a limit of maximum oboes you could get. I have more side quests to finish here, so like sure I'll do. I'm not doing that. Speak with the guy near the grinning one. I might need to like finish that thing. Okay, I'm finishing that. Those two first. For all characters on this realm. So like, is Eternal Realm just one realm? So like when it says on this maximum capacity of obus for characters on this realm, it means for all characters on the Eternal Realm? Or is that like, can I like change a server from server Tyrael to server Kane? Like in WoW?
One man's junk is another.
What was that yes to? Like remember that by the time this yes reaches me, I have all the one realm, okay. Because remember that by the time that yes reaches me, I would have said like 3 more things.
And what's worse, whosoever covets and steals the ring is cursed, marking them for death. I do hope, however, it came into your possession. It was given freely.
I am starting to yawn a little bit.
Best I hang on to it just to be safe. Do come around again, should you acquire any more interesting pieces.
Okay, level 55. Guess more to put in Thrash. Is that better? Life on Kill is one of the ones that I like. And I'm not using Concussive Stomp. Life on Kill. Dexterity, maximum life. So yeah, I think this is better for me. Until I get like a legendary. Yeah, I don't need to re-equip anything. I don't use Concussive Stomp. Okay, now I guess we're doing this. Yeah, you keep jumping. You keep jumping way behind me. That's good, that's okay. As long as you don't jump at me and like knock me off the horse. Okay, that's a lot of enemies.
What is this?
That's what that was a lot of lunatics exploding all at once, which I thankfully dodged. So yeah, like maybe I should put up a poll for who I should talk about. Like I don't think that there's a point of making a poll on a live stream, because there's like I don't know how many people. Like I have a total of 6 views right now, 2 concurrent viewers, which means there is like at any given point there was maximum 2 people watching.
So close to its teeth.
So usually there was just 1 person watching, and sometimes a second person clicked to tune in, and a total of 6 people clicked on this so far. And I am wondering now, like how many people have like tuned in into the stream, see me going through the monsters, and then hear me talking about Alexander the Great and like what a crazy person he was. And like, what is this going on here? Like, what is going on this stream? Like, what is he talking about? Like Alexander the Great? Why is he talking about some like random Greek dude? Like, who? Like, what did this Alexander the Great dude do? That is, what did he make gyros? That's probably what Americans think Alexander the Great did. Because gyros, I think that's how Greeks pronounce it, gyros. And yeah, Grinning Labyrinth. So another dungeon. That's probably what Americans think Alexander the Great did. And they didn't stay long enough to hear the whole story of what he did, of all the crazy shit he did. And it's a real shame, because he was a really interesting character. as I have proved for over 1.5 hours today. Or maybe they tuned out because I said I didn't like the song, the Iron Maiden song about him. What's going on over there behind it? Another demonic corruption, okay. Oh, that's a lot of enemies.
Not ready yet.
Baneful Obulation. And this one was already no, this is my old one. I thought I got like a loot dropped with gems already socketed in it. And look at this name, Odd Rake. Like, the names are absolutely nuts in here. Baneful Obulation. Like, how did they make up these names? Like, Baneful Obulation. I don't even know what an obulation is. Like, okay, like chat, gotta go to Google and look up what baneful obulation means and report back while I'm still streaming. Like, check what an obulation is, because I have absolutely no idea. I will wait a little bit for news on what obulation is. There's a lot of those lunatics. Yeah, maybe when Google stops telling me what ovulation is. Ovulation. Yeah, like Google now likes to correct you. Of course, you misspelled it now, or you misspelled it in Google, or both. Does Google still talk about ovulation? Can you spell the word? Okay. Obulation. That's what it said here. Baneful obulation. I'm back here now. Okay, it's two of those assholes.
Need more time.
Okay, there is no enemies here right now, so I'm gonna actually check myself. Come on, mark this as red, as I have email open here. It says to obstruct it. No, not ovulation, ovulation. Ovulation often is spelled ovulation. No, it's not often spelled ovulation. No, ovulation is not spelled ovulation. Not. It's a different word. What am I getting pinged by? Oh, this server again. Also, this Discord server for a Crusader Kings 3 Warcraft mod is constantly pinging me about like playtesting shit. I'm not playtesting shit. I'm not playing your mod. I haven't played your mod in years. In Diablo 4 it told me to collect a baneful ovulation. No, it does not say oblation. No, it says, absolutely says ovulation. It's a known typo, is it? Is it a known typo? Baneful oblations. I don't think it's a known typo. Okay, whatever. Google sucks here right now. It's being absolutely obstruction. Obstruction is what Google is being about this topic right now. Okay, let's continue the dungeon, and it's already 2 AM, so I think this is what we are all we're doing today might be. That's a lot of lunatics. Okay. Whoa, what did so much damage? This door is sealed, okay. Like when I checked with Google about these ovulations, like it goes like ovulation, often spelled ovulation, And I'm saying like, no, it's not often. It's not often spelled ovulation. It's not often spelled ovulation. It's never spelled ovulation. You're right to call me out on that. It absolutely is not a common medical term. Like why is that? Why do they have to make this shit like so bad? Like, less people would be so against it if it wasn't so bad. Like, I swear, it just gets worse all the time. Like, sometimes it feels like every time I have to talk to this thing, it gets worse, it gets dumber. Oh, okay. That was weird. Oh, that's what did that damage. I don't think it rendered last time. Like the graphical AIs are getting better. Like the image generators are getting better. Like the image generators are getting better. Because the images are getting more and more realistic. Like, there is still like very easy ways to tell when very easy ways to tell when an image is AI generated, but they are actually getting better. But the text AIs, like, they're getting dumber every time. Silent standard. Pain spear. Like the rare items, I have like normal names. Dampening drift. Well, you know, for a certain level of normal, they have normal names. Dampening drifter's pants. I don't know what a dampening drifter is. Like, I'm a drifter apparently, but I'm like a dampening drifter. Do I dampen things? And, Crimson basic glaive. Like, that kind of makes sense, okay? Focused hooked quarterstaff. Like, that makes sense. But then you get like into like the yellow items. These are the rares. These are magic. These are the rares. Then you get into the rares, and the rares have like the agent, pain spear, odd rake, teeming accoutrements, defiant ground pounders. Defiant ground pounders. That's a name. It has life on kill. So I might like put some kind of legendary on this and wear this. Just to have defiant ground pounders. That was probably a waste. Ah, Jesus. This thing is like so fast.
Need more time.
Okay, fine. I'll fight you here.
Need more time.
I guess I would mind being pulled more. I guess I would mind being pulled more if I wasn't playing a melee class. If I was like a mage, I would probably mind being pulled more. Okay. Yeah, my favorite way of beating enemies, just slam them with WAN. No, it's not even the number one button. Let's just left click. Just left click to death. Okay, I'm smelling a boss. The grinning chamber. Yep. Press all the buttons and smash. Okay, move out of that. Okay.
Can't carry anymore.
I had another manual first. And they pick up everything, yes. Okay. Dampening drifter. Leave dungeon. And it is getting late, so it might be time to get out of here.
Yes, yes. The Green One guides all to fortune who are.
Now I want a title that says the Dampening Drifter.
Of your strength, when the time is right. Now.
I mean, if you count blood as a dump, I do dampen a lot of things. Because whenever I go in somewhere, everything just gets covered in blood. So like, I am a drifter and I am dampening a lot of things.
The Old One speaks to me.
Does he now? Let's see if this is like an Eldritch Abomination or it's like, I don't know. Nothing happened, dude.
Yes. Oh, God wishes for all. Is worthy of all. Gifts beyond time. Gifts beyond flesh. And this is good? What?
You need some coffee, dude, or something?
What price?
This is what I behaved like before I got my coffee.
Can't carry anymore.
And I need to dismantle staff. Yeah, that's what That's what I sound like before I get my coffee. Yeah, yes. Price? What price? So, that guy was my my spirit animal. In a way, I need to like this unsocket things. Hailstone thrust. Life on hit. Maybe it's worth keeping and replacing my
Good
Pain Spear.
That got most of it.
I should like go and like unsocket stuff. Like I guess I'm not keeping this one. Where's the socket person? The jewel icon. Okay, is that you? Jeweler, yes. Unsocket. No. Unsocket this. Yes, thank you. And this. And this. While we're at it. And now I guess I can dismantle those. Like those legendaries too, the old weapon.
Good salvage.
And now the protective bubble, it should give me the affix from this. Yes. And I don't know if I'm getting rid of those old shoes yet. Okay, so where is the mystic, the guy? Not mystic, occultist. Imprint aspect. So like, is it worth it? Is it like worth it to put it now? Put something on here. Ego skills, no. Summons, no. Aspect of combined strikes. Each different basic skill you use increases all your damage by 25%. I already have this on something. Some ferocity stacks. Lightning damage, no, I'm not doing that. Centipede skills. Centipede skills. Will increase damage, further increase to... Like, do I want to do this? Against crowd controlled enemies. I do like this fear thing. Ah, but that fear thing came from the shoes. So now, you know, I was doing something with the slow. That was like showing these... and I'm not seeing these fear effects anymore. And I was seeing, well, it was probably coming from those shoes. I don't know if I really have anything I want to put on this. Yeah, you let me know. You let me know if you know an aspect that I want to put on that weapon. Like if you saw the aspects that I had there, like you let me know if there's like any of them that I should be putting there. Okay, what do we have left to do? Sealed Oxen Tribe Cache. Harvest Demon Fury from Vile Ones, like more bear asses. What is this? Bring the crude doll to Tuya. Yeah, I might do that. You're really fine with whatever. Okay, that's not very helpful. Like I should be ending here because it's like 2:19 already. So, I guess we finish more side quests on Thursday because it's really late. So I should be finishing here. Reliquaries. Beasts. Do I have some? Can I unlock something? Can unlock the horse, the weird dragon demon horse. Come on, load in game. I can't unlock it yet. It takes 5. I have 2. Okay. I can take this. Maybe not the first thing I want to take. I want this first. I want the dragon, the gloom strider. The forest offers its support, so this is like a forest creature. This, I don't know, doesn't look like a forest thing to me. It's like I'm gonna keep the 2 until I get 8, and I can take the horse, demon dragon horse thing. Okay, here I can only unlock like these 2, which I don't care about. Might take this, and then I might take the rest of the things, just so I have, just so I spend the Overwatch reliquaries. Collections. What does it want me to? Just challenges. Completed some challenges today. Challenge. Okay. And this is like from an expansion. Classes. Spiritborn. Keeper of Nahantu. Yeah, okay. Okay, I will be ending for today. So yeah, I'll leave the game now, and because it is late. So, like, if anyone somehow, if anyone is watching this and they haven't watched today's video yet, do go watch it. Like right now, like right after the stream ends, go watch it and keep helping me pump those numbers up. Meanwhile, you know, the Piper is still giving me some orders. I don't know if I will put up a poll after this video, because people like kind of already voted what they want next after this. So maybe I'll like put up a poll. Like the last poll resulted in this. Do you still want that? Like I don't know. There's a point to that. Maybe I don't know. I'll see tomorrow what I feel like tomorrow. But yeah, this will be it for today. A bunch of side quests, a bunch of bear asses we collected, and OBS. Take me to OBS. Yes, we're in OBS now, and now it's the frame rate on the streamer dropped a lot because I am in another window. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think I got anything else to say. Here, Dampening Drifter Calontas signing off, and I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I hope to see you next